Hi everyone, welcome back to Running the Race. My name is Heather if you are new here. And today I really want to share some light on the different types of mental illnesses there are, as well as how much they affect not only the United States, but in the world. I'm going to be reading off quite a few statistics, so apologies if I'm looking down. I just want to make sure that I go over these correctly. All of the sources that I use and information will be linked in the description box. So if you want to learn more statistics, those will be there as well, as I'm only going to go over a few of them. But first, I just want to mention that there are more than 200 current diagnosed mental disorders in the world. And some of those I've talked about previously. For me, the depression, anxiety, but there are so many more. Ones that you've probably heard of is ADHD, autism, different types of mood disorders like bipolar, disruptive behavior, oppositional defiant disorders, even eating disorders are a mental illness, as well as different personality disorders, antisocial personality disorders, PTSD, substance abuse, alcohol abuse. All of these are categorized in mental health, and I think it's really important to understand that. There are so many more people affected by this than you may even realize. I'm sure every single one of you either know someone who struggles with some type of mental illness, or you yourself struggle with one or more of them. Going over the statistics, I'm going to highlight some overarching ones and then get into a little bit more specifics. I do want to also put out a warning that I will be mentioning suicide, and if those are subjects that are triggering to you, please do not watch this video. All right, let's go ahead and get into these. Anxiety disorders are the highest reported mental illness in the US, affecting 42.5 million Americans. About 1 in 4 American adults suffer with a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year. 1 in 10 will suffer from depressive illness such as major depression or bipolar disorder. Mental health crises account for 60 million visits to primary care and 6 million ER visits a year. 41% of Americans deal with an untreated mental illness. Almost half of Americans will experience an episode of mental illness in their lives. Almost 800 million people suffer from mental health disorders worldwide, and 322 million people worldwide live with depression. So as you can see, it is something that affects so many people. Going into trying to get help for these, you may or may not be surprised with how many people actually seek help and how not seeking help can be detrimental. Almost 6 in 10 people with mental illnesses get no treatment or medication. In 2019, an estimated 47.6 million adults, which is 19% of the country, had a mental illness, but only 43% received any kind of mental health care. More than 40,000 Americans die annually from suicide. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. It is the second leading cause of death for ages 44 and under, and the 5th leading cause of death for ages 45 to 54. This is huge. There are so many people dying and killing themselves because of what is going on inside of them. They're fighting a war and they need to get help. But it's hard. It's hard to reach out. It's hard to know who to turn to, who's not going to judge you. This is the reason I created this channel, to spread awareness so that you would know that you have support, or so that you can support someone else. And hopefully by doing this, if we just save one person by sharing that they're not alone, or knowing how to support someone and helping them during these hard times, we can make a difference. But we have to speak up. We have to be willing to go out of our way to look for people who need help, or even people that are close to you may be suffering silently. In looking at kids and teens, the statistics are even worse. There are 4.5 million children in the United States diagnosed and living with anxiety. ADHD, behavior problems, anxiety, and depression are the most common mental disorders affecting children. 20% of all teens suffer from depression before they even reach adulthood. Nearly only 30% of teens with depression are being treated for it. An adolescent dies from suicide every 100 minutes. Every 100 minutes, someone dies. A teen dies from suicide. This makes it the third leading cause of deaths for people ages 15 to 24. Teen depression has increased 59% since 2007. Those teens who suffer from depression also have a 30% chance of developing drug problems later in life. We wonder what's going on with our society. Of course, not having a biblical worldview, not following Christ, is of course going to make these things worse. But we have to be open about it. If we don't say anything about it, nothing is going to change. We have to be willing as Christians, as just your neighbors, helping one another. We have to be willing to do that, or these numbers are just going to increase. This doesn't even include veterans and other populations in our community. There are so many more statistics, and I urge you to go and look at them because they are astounding. I am the one creating this video, and I was shocked reading some of these. The fact that every 100 minutes an adolescent dies from suicide, we are killing off a generation. These people need help, and we are the ones that need to do something. I challenge you to keep your eyes open, to pray and ask the Lord to send someone your way that you can help, that you can encourage. You may only need to say a kind word to someone, and it can change their entire perspective. Just be kind and loving. We need to be the hands and feet of Jesus. In closing, I want to share a couple Bible verses for you to think of. 2 Timothy 1:4 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a power and of love and of a sound mind." If you are one of these statistics that are currently struggling, God did not give us a spirit of fear. I know that it can be terrifying going through situations that you feel like you can't get out of, that you don't even want to be on the earth anymore because of. God did not give that to us. He gave us a spirit of love and of a sound mind. And right now, a lot of us do not have sound minds, but He can give that to us. He can give us the strength that we need to continue on. The second verse I want to share is Philippians 4:6-7. "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Right now, I know that I'm currently going through a season of struggling. And there are a lot of days that I don't want to do the things that I need to do. But knowing that with prayer and supplication to God, He can give me what I need. And He has, and He will never stop doing that for me, is encouraging to me, and I hope it is to you as well. I hope this has opened your eyes to how much the world needs an advocate and how we need to continue to fight and help people who are struggling with these things. If you need help, I'm going to also list a place down below where you can get that. And if you want to share this video with someone else who's struggling or just spread awareness, I know that other people need to hear it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you next time. And until then, keep running the race. Bye.